The lights are blinding, the crowd is buzzing, and before a single note is sung, I need you to do one thing. If you believe in hidden talent, if you believe ordinary people can live extraordinary moments, tap that like button right now and subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to hear is not just a performance, it's a life-changing moment that shocked an entire nation. And trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand why the judges sat frozen in silence, why the audience erupted in tears, and why this audition is still being talked about everywhere. He stood alone at the center of the America's Got Talent stage, shoulders slightly hunched, hands trembling just enough to give him away. His name was Miguel Santos, a 24-year-old Filipino from a small coastal town where dreams often feel bigger than reality. He wore a simple black jacket, nothing flashy, nothing that screamed star. In fact, some people in the audience whispered to each other, wondering if he was even ready for this moment. He smiled nervously at the judges, his accent soft but steady as he introduced himself. When Simon Cowell asked what he would be singing, Miguel paused, swallowed hard, and said one word that instantly changed the atmosphere: Elvis. A few raised eyebrows. A few skeptical looks. Covers of Elvis Presley had been done 1,000 times before, and most of them failed to capture the magic. Simon leaned back, clearly unconvinced. Howie smiled politely. Sophia tilted her head with curiosity. The crowd murmured, unsure whether to expect brilliance or disaster. Miguel felt that doubt wash over him like a cold wave, but in that moment, his mind drifted far away from the stage, back to his childhood home in the Philippines, where power outages were common, money was scarce, and music was his only escape. As a child, Miguel used to sit beside his father's old radio, listening to crackling recordings of Elvis late into the night. His father, a fisherman who worked endless hours, would hum along softly, telling Miguel that Elvis wasn't just a singer, he was hope, confidence, freedom. When his father passed away unexpectedly, that radio became sacred. Miguel would sing into the quiet nights, imagining his father listening somewhere beyond the stars. Music wasn't just a passion anymore, it was a promise. Back on the AGT stage, the music cue began. The first few seconds were quiet. Too quiet. You could hear someone cough in the audience. And then Miguel opened his mouth. The voice that came out didn't belong to the nervous young man standing there. It was rich, controlled, and hauntingly familiar, deep like Elvis, yet emotional in a way that felt entirely his own. The crowd's whispers stopped instantly. Simon's eyes widened. Sophia's hand flew to her mouth. Each note seemed to pull the room deeper into silence, as if everyone was holding their breath together. Miguel wasn't just singing a song, he was telling a story of loss, love, and longing that transcended language and borders. As the performance continued, something extraordinary happened. Miguel's fear faded. His posture straightened. His eyes closed, and for a moment, it felt like Elvis himself had returned, not as an imitation, but as a spirit reborn through a young man who understood the soul of the music. The audience began to sway, some wiping tears from their faces. You could feel the emotion rising, thick and heavy in the air. But the real challenge came near the end. The song demanded a powerful final note, one that many singers fear because it exposes everything. Miguel hesitated for just a fraction of a second, memories flashing through his mind, his father's tired smile, his mother praying for his success, the nights he almost gave up because auditions kept saying no. Then he took a breath and let it all go. The note soared through the theater, raw and perfect, filled with pain and hope all at once. When the music stopped, there was a heartbeat of silence. 1 second. 2 seconds. And then the room exploded. The audience jumped to their feet, screaming, cheering, crying. It wasn't polite applause, it was thunder. Simon stood up, shaking his head in disbelief. I did not expect that, he said, his voice unusually soft. That was not just a performance. That was a moment. Miguel stood frozen, tears streaming down his face, unsure whether what he was seeing was real. Howie praised his authenticity. Sophia told him he made her feel something she couldn't explain. And then the camera cut to the judges' table as a single hand slowly hovered over the golden buzzer. The crowd sensed it instantly, chanting, screaming, pleading. Miguel covered his mouth, shaking, whispering to himself that this couldn't be happening. When the golden buzzer was slammed, golden confetti rained down like a dream. Miguel dropped to his knees, overwhelmed, sobbing as the audience roared louder than ever. In that moment, he wasn't just a contestant, he was every dreamer who had ever been told they weren't enough. He was proof that talent knows no borders, no background, no limits. Later, backstage, Miguel said something that stayed with everyone who heard it. He said he didn't come to AGT to become famous. He came to prove to himself and to his father that dreams are worth chasing, even when the odds feel impossible. His journey wasn't over, but that night, he had already won something far greater than a competition. So if you're watching this right now, feeling unseen, unheard, or unsure of your path, remember Miguel. Remember that one brave step onto a stage can change everything. And if this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this moment with someone who needs hope today. Because sometimes, all it takes is one voice, one song, and one chance to leave the world completely speechless.